Hello everyone, I'm Ferdi Salvador. Join us in unlocking the tricks of the trade here on Trade Talks. Let's get down to business. Uncovering the secret of eating junk food that is good for you and your family is no easy task. This has become every parent's or healthy savvy individual's nightmare. How do you make snacking on chips a healthy habit? Is it possible? Two mothers have taken up the challenge and have succeeded and tell you, yes, it is possible. This morning, we will find out how multi-hyphenate businesswoman and co-founder of Honest Junk, Tina Lagdameo, turned a gap in the market into something successfully yummy. Welcome to the show, Tina. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Hi, Ferdi. Nice to be here.
Yes, and I'm so curious.
Okay.
Junk food turned healthy. How did this come about?
It's possible, really. So it started by me and my partner, Celine. And at the time, I was working for my family business, which is Gonats Donuts. And I was also, I came from culinary school in New York.
Okay. I was gonna ask you, but how funny
Yes.
From Gonats Donuts.
Yes.
I'm not saying
Very
that
different.
donuts are unhealthy.
No, it's a treat.
It's a treat.
Yes.
Because I just want to be careful. I don't want to get bashed with those donut lovers because I love donuts. But anyway, from a treat to healthy stuff.
Yes. So I studied culinary at Culinary Institute of America. So I really had background in food.
Yes.
And then my partner, Celine, she was going through IVF at the time.
Yes.
And the doctor gave her a really strict diet of like gluten-free, all these things.
Oh my.
Yes.
All the freeze.
all the stuff, right? And she was saying, Tina, it's so expensive to be healthy, find healthy snacks is quite expensive here in the Philippines, right?
Or anywhere in the world.
Or anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And so, we broached the idea because we were good friends, and I was saying, actually, we could make, with my background in food, we decided to come up with healthier alternatives, but also that doesn't break the bank, and it doesn't taste like grass or wheat or anything like that.
Because anything healthy, the connotation. Or the theory or ideas behind it, it's like cardboard.
Exactly.
There's no flavor, there's no nothing, and some of them are actually not that healthy because they're lots of carbs and all these studies, which I'm not gonna get into because I'm not an expert in it. But did you and Celine Gabrielle Lim have to go back to the kitchen and learn how to cook healthy?
Well, it's always kind of been in my lifestyle to be healthy.
Yeah, because I've got to mention, because you're the founder of Planaforma.
Planaforma, which is a boutique fitness studio.
Yes, of course, coming from a healthy background. So you were already prepped for this.
Yes.
Right?
But what I did was I made my kids the guinea pigs. So when I was developing the recipes, I never told them like this is made out of this and that. I would just give them the products and then ask them for their feedback.
Oh, so mom was just making treats at home and they're like, yay, sugar overload.
Yeah, so if they were like, it's good, I'm like, okay, good.
Yes.
Then I think we have something here. And then if they said, no, it doesn't taste good, then we go back to the drawing board.
Yes, but of course, with Celine, does she also have a culinary background?
No.
Okay,
Celine's background is PR.
PR, yes, she's a PR practitioner. But did you have to educate her in the healthy eating habits or healthy ingredients?
Yes, but she also did that on her own because of that strict diet.
Because of all the free, the gluten-free and the freeze,
taste-free, all that stuff.
Okay, because it's different. I mean, having partners that are not on the same page can spell disaster for any business.
That's right.
And you do have to live the lifestyle. As you said, you use your children as guinea pigs.
Yes. Yeah.
And so the feedback was great, I suspect, because we're here talking about it right now.
Correct.
Okay, what was their feedback?
I never told them that they were healthy food. I just said, does it taste good? Is this something that you would like to eat?
Yes.
And when the kids said yes, then I think, then we started really commercializing it.
As a culinarian,
Yes.
I said earlier in my what you call it, description of your multi-hyphenate. I
Yes.
didn't know that you went to CIA to
Yes.
learn
Yeah,
food technology or culinary arts,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But that's so different because people that learn from institutions like that normally have a restaurant,
yes.
or in other forms of hospitality,
That's right. Yes.
But was it difficult from switching? Of course, the kitchen stuff is different.
Yeah.
To an actual business. I
Yeah.
mean, you're producing
Commercializing.
yes,
Yes.
FMCG items.
Correct. Yeah. Well, that's where my background with Go Nuts Donuts, my family's food background helped because, I had access to food technology people and the whole process of logistics and all of that.
Thanks, family.
that really helped me put it together.
And how did you have to re-educate Celine, your partner, to about supply chains and production timelines and stuff like that?
Yes, yeah. So sometimes Celine is like, oh, so can we make this? I'm like, no, not really, because we're talking about shelf life, we're talking about trending issues, we're talking about all these things with food costs. So,
Yes.
so sometimes I have to re-educate her on the feasibility of the product.
Okay, and when did you start the business?
We started 2017.
Oh, that was a while back.
Yeah,
Okay.
2017.
And of course, with any business, a
Yes.
startup is always challenging. What did you both experience in the beginning of the business?
Yeah. Well,
Inception, rather.
it was really just an idea. It was more of a passion project at the beginning. And we didn't expect it to take off easily. At the beginning, my gosh, I was making the gummy bears out of my kitchen. And my husband...
Who makes gummy bears out of someone's kitchen?
Right? And then when it blew up, my husband was like, can I have my kitchen back, please?
Yeah, your husband's never in Manila. That's
Yeah.
why he wants his kitchen back. Okay.
Yeah, so then we had to really commercialize the whole thing. So
Okay,
that was...
because when we were doing our background check on this, because that's why I wanted to ask you to come on the show, because
Yeah.
the idea of healthy junk food,
Yes.
if you can call it that, are chips.
Yes.
Things that you snack on when you've got a salty pang or a sugar pang or a savory pang.
Yeah.
You did not just produce chips. You produced little confectionaries,
Yes.
if you can call it that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Why? What was the?
Well, the
what was the theory?
inspiration was actually our childhood.
Okay.
So we went back to our childhood and said, what were the things that we enjoyed?
Gummy bears.
Gummy bears, right? Or those animal crackers.
Yes.
So we made the healthier version of gluten-free cookies that look like animal shapes. And then cheese curls, so that was the inspiration for our cheese barks. So that was how we decided to go along with those products. What we liked as kids. So
But
There
yeah,
you go.
Tina, there's right now children are increasingly allergic to so much things. I mean, when we were growing up, when we were born 35 years ago,
that's right.
we didn't have that much allergens,
Yeah.
right? Like, who heard of gluten allergens,
Yeah.
right? But now kids are definitely getting all these allergens. Did you have to shift the ideas, or did you come in the market at the right time wherein these things were being put under the spotlight?
Yeah, I think there was already an awareness when we came into the market, and hence we saw that there was a void in terms of local healthy products and affordable products in the Philippines, because it was really the whole chia and kale and,
Yes.
and the superfoods idea, and then
Yes.
all these allergies were really, there was really an awareness about it already.
Yes. Why do you think that healthy food items are expensive?
I think several things. Number one, people don't really know the value of it. Example, let's say brown rice. It's actually cheaper to make brown rice than it is to make white rice.
So why is it artisanal?
Because, right? So it should be that people...
Because there's color?
yeah. There's color, and it's an odd taste compared to what they're used to. But
Yes.
brown rice actually has more value, has more nutrients in it. And it's cheaper because it has less process.
Okay.
So the additional process increases
But
the
why,
cost
when
in
it goes to the market, it's
Yeah.
more expensive? Is it because of branding?
I think so. I think people are willing to pay a price for health, health and wellness. I think there is such a need in the market right now, and people put value to it.
Yes, but
Yeah.
what is your market? Like, who do you sell to? Who's the?
Definitely the millennial moms.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the moms who, if you notice, like our age group, right?
35,
Yeah,
yeah.
35. They're very much. It's part of their lifestyle to be conscious of what they're eating, what they put into their body, and exercising a lot.
The athleisure moms.
Yeah.
And athleisure dads.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's your main market.
Yes, yes.
But do like the kids, like, request for your products and.
Oh yes, yeah.
What about an older market? Like,
Definitely the ones who have some, diet problems or sugar problems, we also cater to them. So
Okay.
like our cookies are very good, very low in sugar, no refined sugar. We use coconut sugar,
Yes.
stuff like that.
What about from production, supply chain, and then off the market?
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn in that process since 2017? Because obviously during the pandemic, because your product was born,
Yeah. Right.
a few years before the pandemic.
Yes.
How difficult was it for you to go get
Yeah.
your supplies, and did the prices increase?
Yes. Well, luckily, when we thought of Honest Junk, it was really meant to be an e-commerce brand.
Okay.
So that helped us during the pandemic because we didn't really have to pivot
Okay.
because we were really online to begin with. The
Yes.
whole infrastructure was for online.
Yes.
From chandling to delivery, all of that, the purchase.
But you didn't have any difficulty, Tina, with
We did.
aside from supplies, but
Yeah.
expiration.
No, we're okay. We are at 1 year.
Okay.
So it's a good shelf life, a good stable product at
Yeah.
shelf life. But we did have problems with supplies
Mm-hmm.
for raw materials during the pandemic
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't know. Sometimes things were available, sometimes they weren't. Sometimes you couldn't get hold of the supplier, especially at the beginning.
Yes.
So those were the issues that we encountered. But it was a blessing in disguise because it forced us to create more products.
Okay,
as
well, I'm going to be asking you a lot more questions, but right now, we're going to take a quick break. Join us later here on Trade Talks. And we're back. You're still watching Trade Talks here on BNC. Still with us, one of the co-founders of Honest Junk, Tina Lagdameo. So before the break, Tina, I wanted to ask you, burning in my mind,
What?
how do you want to expand this business?
We definitely want to sell out of, other countries as well.
Is
as
that on
outside
the pipeline?
Yes,
Eh,
yes.
Is it happening right now?
We're working on it.
What are your dream markets for Honest Junk?
Around Asia, so Singapore, Thailand.
Yeah, and how are you trying to get to that point wherein you're already in the foreign market? Because I'm checking out your packaging. It's amazing. It's actually very global.
Yes.
Proudly
Thank you.
Pinoy but global, right?
Yeah.
However, there's restrictions in different countries, ingredients,
Yeah.
and you gotta get
All the approvals. So
Yes.
that's what we're working on right now.
Okay.
We're in all the FDA approval stage, all the papers needed to try, and we're testing the market to see which products will actually be okay for.
Yes, I mean, this is
countries
integral
outside.
to, of course, safety and food safety, right?
Yes.
But what other hurdles are being presented to you and Celine right now
Yeah.
to expand further?
Well, definitely financing. It's a lot of money to be able to take that next step
Yes.
forward.
Yes.
So that's what we're working on right now as well. The
You're
financing
talking about
of that.
financing. I'm going to ask about finances.
Okay.
For the first 3 months, how much products have you sold when you started?
Oh, the first 3 months. Well, we were lucky because we launched months.
Okay.
So that
it's
was
the gifting season.
Yes, it was the gifting.
Smart.
Yeah.
Very good, Celine.
So we launched, and all of a sudden, like, everybody wanted to give it as Christmas presents
Yes.
for their kids, the
Yes.
kids' classmates, and
Yes.
stuff like that. So we did sell several thousands of
Thousands for the first 3 months.
of
Wow.
gummy bear packs.
And then now moving forward to 2025, what is your average number of products being purchased
We do about 800 to 1,000 transactions
a day?
No, I wish. in a week. In a week.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So your production line must be very busy.
Yes.
I mean, for two people working on this, micro business.
Yes.
As I would call it a micro business
It
right
is.
now.
It is a micro business.
And I don't know how many people you have in your team.
We're very lean. We're
Okay.
a very lean team.
And then, of course, with the ideas of expansion,
Yeah.
right? That's going to grow. However, you said you're online. Are you planning to do a physical corner or?
We sell in like-minded stores as
Okay,
well. So
okay.
we have like real food. We're in Gourmet Pantry, One World Deli, things like that. But it is also our dream to have pop-up. Like let's say in Rockwell, have a pop-up store there during the Burr months, because that's really one of our busiest times.
Okay, dream collaboration. Who do you want to work with to expand your product line?
Oh, well, would have been Gaita actually. Yeah, 'cause
Everybody wants to work with our good
she's
friend.
a pioneer and she's
Yes.
one of my idols in the industry.
Aside from Margarita, anyone that's global.
Anyone that's
Aside from Margarita, she's global too, but
okay. Ooh, that's a good question. I'm trying to think of who the chefs that I idolized. I would say Danny Mayer,
Danny Mayer.
Shake Shack.
Interesting.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
A Shake Shack flavored line?
Yes,
Wow.
or at least part of their lineup of snacks that could be put into like their ice cream or their shakes or something like that.
And there's also a movement now, Tina, of root crops, coming out of the Philippines, like ube and making that chips and stuff like that.
Yes.
And the flavors are distinctly Filipino.
Yes.
Are you and your production team
Yes.
thinking of putting more Filipino flavors into your repertoire?
Definitely. Our flavors are quite Filipino. So
Okay,
we
they are
have,
already.
Calamansi gummy bears. We have mango gummy bears. We even sometimes have seasonal like mangosteen
Because
or guyabano.
yes, Tina, I purposely didn't try your product so that I'm not biased.
Okay.
So we're gonna try that later. But that's
Yeah.
interesting. I didn't know that it was, completely Filipino.
Yes,
Right.
yes. Because when we were developing the products, it had to hit three things. Number one, it had to be cost friendly. Just the selling price had to be cost friendly.
What are your price points?
Like our gummy bears for 100 grams is only 110 pesos.
Affordable.
Yes, very affordable.
Okay.
And then our cookies are like 140 pesos, and our cheese barks are 195. So very, very friendly.
Oh my goodness! You
for the
mentioned
moms.
cookies. I'm sure our producers here are now hungry, and the camera guys behind me, they're hungry now. But let's talk more about business,
Okay.
right? I want to know, what is your biggest financial regret?
In any of my businesses?
Any.
I would say closing down Planaforma.
Okay.
Yeah, because it wasn't that we weren't doing well. We had 4 studios, we had an on-demand platform, but it was a big risk that at that point during the pandemic, I wasn't willing to take anymore because, the rent and you didn't know when you were allowed to open up, and we just had online classes, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough.
Okay. What is your best investment?
I would say the people.
Okay.
The people in our team, because we really value everyone's input I did say earlier that we are a lean team, but everyone is valued in a big, big way.
And very interesting. And of course, before going to culinary school, when you were a kid, trying all these snacks,
Yes.
what advice would you give your young self?
Ooh. I still say to myself, don't be afraid to fail. As an entrepreneur, there will always be risks. And not just in business, in anything, right? Whether it's relationships or
I've risked a lot, sweetie. But we're talking about business.
going back.
Going back. Yes.
Yeah.
And what's your biggest mistake?
Ooh. I wouldn't say I have any I mean, I've had a big business mistake because it kind of all leads to something, right? A bigger purpose. And I think with all the things I've gone through, all the businesses that I've done, I mean, from donuts, hello, it led me to
Healthy stuff.
healthy snack
From
line.
treats to healthy stuff.
Right? So
Yeah.
I think everything is meant somehow. It's how you just take what it gives you and take the lessons out of it and make something out of it.
Yes. And this is unusual because I have a final question,
Okay.
which is normally your biggest mistake is. But my final question is,
Okay.
have you given your husband the kitchen back?
Definitely. I can proudly say after 6 months, when we first launched, after that 6 months, I was like, okay, honey,
Yeah.
it's back. When you enter, you can cook anything you want.
Thank you so much, Tina, for joining us this morning and giving light on the possibilities of turning snacking into something healthy. And we want to see you in shelves around the world.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And that is it for today's show. I'm Ferdi Salvador. Catch the Bilyonaryo News channel on Free TV Channel 31 and on cable via Signal Channel 24. Thank you for watching the Bilyonaryo News channel, always on top.